What's going on, guys? It's John here from Hot Take Hockey to talk about Jacob Trouba and his trade rumors. I'm just going to quickly go quick fire just over the teams and what I believe is possible, what I believe is less likely, and just talk about potential trades. So the Detroit Red Wings, you see the jersey I have on. The Detroit Red Wings do not want to trade Filip Hronek. I think that's been confirmed. Possibly guys that they could trade would be an Andreas Athanasiou. I know Trevor Daley, maybe if they retain some cap, that could work out. They don't want to lose that first-round pick, as far as I know, so potentially a couple second-round picks, prospect, Trevor Daley, maybe Athanasiou. Daley doesn't provide a lot of value, but a veteran on the left side that could play in the top four even for the Jets maybe next year. So I see something maybe developing. I know the Red Wings are being considered right now as one of the top destinations for Trouba. Moving on to number 2, I believe the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers would love having a guy like Jacob Trouba. You have obviously a guy like Provorov. You have a guy like Gostisbehere. And I wonder if Gostisbehere could be a guy that they could even consider trading just for a 1-for-1 rather than giving up a bigger package, because the Flyers aren't considered a playoff team right now as much as the skill on their roster might point towards. But I feel like if they want to have that appealing top solid and get Gostisbehere back on track to the way they expect him to play, then you would go towards a package like it's going to be that 11th overall pick, possibly Robert Hagg, 2 prospects, and they're not going to be higher level prospects, but it's going to be something around that, and I could see a package like that appealing the Winnipeg Jets, especially if they keep having a tough time even getting towards a contract, because at this point I do believe he's going to get traded. It's not a matter of if, I think it's a matter of when at this point. So another team, the New York Rangers. I don't have a lot of possible players going the other way at this very moment, but I will say for the Rangers, they're trying to focus on Shattenkirk and Brendan Smith right now and what they're going to do with them. They have a lot of younger players coming up that will be ready next year, and I've talked about it. I think the Rangers are going to be ready sooner rather than later. And for Jacob Trouba, I think they would love having a Trouba on their roster, as well as I think it's kind of been talked about. Trouba wants to go to a premier team in the States, and the Rangers are just that. So I think the Rangers are going to be looking for, again, younger pieces. Trouba's still fairly young, and I think he becomes that solid veteran when they are ready in the next year or two. And moving on to the Buffalo Sabres. Sorry, I was thinking about where I was at right now. The Sabres, it's going to be interesting because Jeff Skinner's one aspect, and another aspect is Rasmus Ristolainen. I think Ristolainen is a guy that definitely could get traded. A lot of people have talked about a swap of Ristolainen and Trouba. I think there's different, you look at it in different ways. Trouba's not signed. So as much as Trouba has more value at this very moment than Ristolainen, and I do believe that, Trouba's not signed, and Ristolainen has a contract. Ristolainen is under contract, and the Jets would probably feel more comfortable with that. Do I believe it's fair 1-for-1 still? No. So the Sabres would probably have to add. But honestly, Ristolainen could work better in a Jets defensive system and improve his defensive game. And honestly, if I'm Ristolainen, I'm going to the Jets. I'm looking at the guy right in front of him, and that's Dustin Byfuglien. He could learn a lot from a guy like Byfuglien, because Byfuglien has in the past gotten a lot of hate for his lack of defensive presence, and I think Byfuglien could potentially, help with that with Ristolainen. So I could see something there. Again, the Buffalo Sabres have a lot of things to figure out. There was the stretch where we believed that they were a playoff team, and that kind of went down the trenches. So I think the Sabres will look at Trouba. That's one of the teams, and that's 4 teams. The video is 5 potential teams. The 5th team, and I'm actually going to talk about another team after, is the Leafs. But I don't know if the Leafs would be a target here. Actually, I have 6. Because the Leafs are in Canada, and the Leafs and Jets, I feel like this trade would have gone down already. There's been Trouba rumors in the past, and with Trouba, I think if you're not liking it in Winnipeg, would you like it in Toronto? So in all regards, I think a Kadri-Trouba trade would make sense for both sides. Again, maybe the Leafs have to add a little more on that side. I do think they would have to. Right-handed defensemen, we do know, are valued more. But honestly, it does make sense. And the Florida Panthers, again, I don't think the Panthers this huge need because they have a guy right now that they're trying to work with, Ekblad, and I wonder if they're still going to, I mean, there's been some Ekblad rumors, but I think they're still going to keep on to him. And they have a lot of, I mean, their coach, they have a lot of forwards that honestly are super underrated. Like Barkov, we talked about it, super underrated. I wonder if they're going to go after a guy like Panarin. I mean, some people have suggested they could possibly trade Hoffman. So it's going to be interesting to see. So I guess this video, just overall, is 6 potential trade targets or 6 potential trade destinations. And just overall, I think Trouba is definitely going to get traded. I think it's going to be to one of these 6 teams I just talked about. Again, the Leafs less likely, so maybe we talk about 5 destinations. But hey, you never know. This was just a quick conversation video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that conversation. Please subscribe to the channel, hit a thumbs up, comment your opinions on the Trouba rumors. This was John from Hot Take Hockey. Have a good one. Peace out.